Mami.
From April 6th to April 8th, 2026, the island nation of Fiji experienced a prolonged period of severe weather disruption caused by the passage of tropical Cyclone Vaianu. The system developed over the warm waters of the South Pacific Ocean shortly before April 6th and steadily intensified as it tracked toward the Fijian archipelago. Favorable atmospheric conditions, including warm sea surface temperatures and relatively low wind shear, allowed the cyclone to strengthen quickly, prompting regional weather agencies to issue warnings as the threat to populated islands increased. On April 6th, the outer bands of the cyclone began to affect Fiji, bringing widespread cloud cover, steady rainfall, and strengthening winds. Coastal areas experienced rough seas and rising wave heights, while inland regions saw continuous precipitation that gradually saturated the ground. Rivers and streams began to swell as runoff increased, especially in low-lying areas where drainage systems were quickly overwhelmed. Authorities issued advisories urging residents to secure loose belongings, avoid unnecessary travel, and prepare for potential evacuations if conditions worsened. Emergency services were placed on standby, and some schools and public services were temporarily suspended as a precaution. Conditions intensified significantly on April 7th, marking the peak of the event. During this period, the cyclone delivered its strongest winds and heaviest rainfall across multiple parts of the country. Wind gusts reached damaging levels, strong enough to uproot trees, damage roofs, and bring down power lines, resulting in widespread electricity outages. In urban areas, flying debris posed additional hazards, while in rural regions, communities faced the combined effects of wind damage and flooding. Heavy rainfall persisted throughout the day, triggering flash floods that submerged roads, disrupted transportation, and isolated several communities. Some bridges and smaller access routes became impassable, complicating emergency response efforts. The impact on infrastructure and daily life was considerable. Power outages affected both residential and commercial areas, interrupting communication and essential services. Water supply systems in certain locations were also disrupted due to contamination from floodwaters. Health facilities remained operational, but faced challenges due to access difficulties and increased demand for assistance. Local authorities worked to coordinate emergency responses, including opening evacuation centers for residents in high-risk zones, such as coastal and flood-prone areas. Agriculture, a key sector in Fiji's economy, was also affected during the height of the cyclone. Floodwaters inundated farmland, damaging crops and reducing yields for farmers. Soil erosion and prolonged waterlogging created additional concerns for future planting cycles. Livestock in some regions had to be moved to higher ground, adding logistical challenges for rural communities already coping with the storm's immediate effects. These agricultural impacts were expected to have short-term economic consequences, particularly for small-scale farmers. Travel and transportation were heavily disrupted between April 6th and April 7th. Airports operated under difficult conditions, leading to delays and cancellations of several flights. In at least one case, an incoming aircraft was unable to land safely due to strong crosswinds and poor visibility. forcing it to divert to another country after multiple attempts. Maritime transport was also suspended in many areas, particularly routes connecting smaller islands, leaving some communities temporarily isolated. This disruption affected not only passenger movement, but also the delivery of essential goods and supplies. By April 8th, the cyclone began to move away from Fiji, gradually weakening as it tracked southward into cooler waters. Although wind speeds started to decrease, lingering rainfall continued to affect parts of the country, prolonging flooding in already saturated areas. Emergency shelters remained open for displaced families, and authorities began initial assessments of damage to homes, infrastructure, and public services. Cleanup operations started carefully, focusing on clearing debris, reopening roads, and restoring electricity where possible. In the days following the event, recovery efforts became the primary focus. Government agencies, local communities, and aid organizations worked together to address immediate needs and begin rebuilding damaged infrastructure. While the early warning systems and preparedness measures helped reduce the overall risk to human life, the cyclone still caused widespread disruption and highlighted ongoing vulnerabilities. The combination of strong winds, heavy rainfall, and flooding demonstrated the challenges faced by island nations like Fiji during the cyclone season. Overall, the events of April 6th to April 8th, 2026, illustrate the powerful impact that tropical cyclones can have on communities, infrastructure, and economic stability. The experience reinforced the importance of disaster preparedness, resilient infrastructure, and coordinated response efforts in reducing the effects of such natural hazards in the future. Additional impacts were also observed in coastal erosion, where strong waves gradually wore away shorelines and damaged small coastal structures. Community response played a crucial role as neighbors supported one another, sharing resources and helping clear debris after the storm, strengthening resilience. Thanks for watching Severe Weather, where we break down the facts behind nature's most intense moments. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps this channel going. Hit the bell so you never miss a real, calm, and clear report. See you in the next one. Stay informed, stay safe.